Qatar, a desert nation smaller than Connecticut, fewer than 3 million people, and yet they hosted the FIFA World Cup. They own one of the biggest football clubs in Europe. Their athletes win Olympic golds, and they've climbed global sports rankings fast. But here's the twist. They don't do it by producing generations of homegrown talent. This is the story of how Qatar is dominating global sports without really playing. Part 1. The rise of a sporting powerhouse. For decades, Qatar wasn't even on the sporting map. No major athletes, no major teams. But everything changed in the early 2000s. The country launched a bold national project to become a global capital for sport at any cost. The goal wasn't just competition, it was soft power. Sport would be Qatar's ticket to influence, image, and international legitimacy. And they weren't going to wait for it to happen organically. They were going to build it, buy it, engineer it from scratch.
So those containers can be used to build the same stadium with the same capacity in a different location in the world, in Qatar or a different country in the world with the same capacity as 40,000 seats, or we can build smaller venues with a smaller capacity. So we can build 20,000 seats to venues in different locations.
Part 2. Buying the best, PSG and beyond. Let's start with the most famous example, Paris Saint-Germain. In 2011, Qatar Sports Investments, a state-backed fund, bought the French football club, and they didn't hold back. They turned PSG into a super club, signed Neymar for a world record fee, brought in Mbappe, Messi, and other global stars, transformed the team into a global brand. But this wasn't just about football, it was about visibility. Paris Saint-Germain became a billboard for Qatar. Their logo? Qatar Airways. The shirts? Visit Qatar. The message? Qatar is here and it's not going away. Part 3. Hosting mega events. Then came the biggest move of all, the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Qatar shocked the world when it won the bid to host. A country with no football legacy, hosting the biggest sporting event on earth? Billions were spent. They built entire cities from scratch, air-conditioned stadiums in the desert, brand new metro systems, hotels, airports, infrastructure, and despite all the criticism about labor rights, environmental cost, and corruption, Qatar pulled it off. The tournament happened, the stadiums filled, and the cameras rolled. It wasn't just about football, it was about saying, we can do what the biggest nations can, and maybe better.
Now we are over 600, 700 that we are living here in Qatar, and we are expecting more than 70,000 Argentinians. Yeah, it will be crazy.
Part 4. The athletes who aren't Qatari. But here's where things get complicated, because when it comes to actual athletes representing Qatar, many of them weren't born there, some weren't even raised there. Qatar has quietly become the global capital of athlete naturalization. In long-distance running, handball, and even weightlifting, you'll find names that don't sound traditionally Qatari. Many of these athletes were born in Kenya, Sudan, Egypt, or Eastern Europe. So how does it work? Qatar recruits young talent from across the world, offers them training, resources, and citizenship. In return, they compete for the Qatari flag. Is it legal? Yes. Is it controversial? Absolutely. Some call it talent shopping, others call it opportunity. Part 5. Aspire Academy, the talent pipeline. But Qatar didn't just buy athletes, they also built the Aspire Academy, a futuristic sports institute in Doha. It's part school, part Olympic lab. Here, promising teenagers from across Africa and Asia are brought in on scholarships. They live, study, and train under world-class coaches. Not all of them stay in Qatar, but the best, they're often offered citizenship and a chance to compete internationally. Aspire isn't just an academy, it's a machine for global talent acquisition. Qatar figured out that developing elite athletes takes decades, so they accelerated the process by importing potential.
The basic idea was always that this was going to bring visibility and a measure of soft power. by persuading the world that Qatar is not just about camels and sand and oil, but also the key aim was to make this part of their developmental strategy, the strategy for long-term development. So the World Cup was one of those things that fits in that strategy. So it's both a question about visibility and long-term economic development.
Part 6. The strategy behind it. So why does Qatar do this? It's not just about medals. This is part of a long-term geopolitical strategy known as sports washing, using sport to clean up a nation's global image, distract from political controversies, build diplomatic ties, attract investment and tourism. Qatar is betting that being seen matters more than being liked. Every time their team plays, every time a stadium fills, every time a PSG match is broadcast around the world, Qatar's name is front and center. And whether people cheer or criticize, one thing's for sure: everyone is watching. Part 7. The criticism. But not everyone sees this as smart strategy. Some critics call it artificial, a shortcut, a nation that buys trophies instead of earning them. Others point to the ethical issues: low-paid migrant workers, stateless children born to naturalized athletes, a lack of homegrown sporting culture. There's no denying Qatar has made waves. But at what cost? Qatar's rise in global sport didn't follow the usual rules. They didn't wait to discover the next Messi. They didn't grow a football league from the grassroots. Instead, they rewrote the playbook. Build the best, buy the rest, put your name everywhere. And while other countries were building teams, Qatar was building an empire. They may not dominate by playing, but they've already won in ways most nations never imagined. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Smart strategy or sporting shortcut? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe for more stories that dig deeper than the highlights.